Hey guys, Spence here, and this is my first impressions on Rising Thunder. Rising Thunder is a 2D fighting game with a heavy online focus. If you sign up to the website, you will eventually get an alpha key. They haven't revealed anything plot-wise, at least nothing that I've heard of. The only thing that you know is that your fighters are actually individual mechs, being piloted by different pilots, and well, that's all you really get. The main trailer up right now, it doesn't say anything about the game's mechanics. The main thing about this game is that they're taking away command inputs to do special moves, instead giving moves cooldowns so you can't use them repeatedly. Basically, a down-forward Hadouken in a normal fighting game, down, forward, punch. In this game, you'll hit the Hadouken button. There are 7 buttons in the game: your light, medium, and heavy attacks, your 3 special moves, and your super. And characters are not limited to just those 3 moves, as there's other ones that you can set in a loadout. And yes, you can crouch, jump, move left and right, no weird dive kick stuff is happening here. In the alpha currently, you can only really go into training mode and go play online. So really you're getting thrown right into it, and finding matches is, well, really fast. I was really surprised actually, which also makes sense considering the online focus and the fact they need people to test it. And in this game, fighting works more in round sense, like in tournaments. So basically, if you get blown out by someone going 0-2, here you'll have to fight him again, but this time you'll be fighting with the knowledge you learned from the 2 losses you just had. Then you'll hypothetically beat him with 2-0, and then you go to a final round, and that will decide the winner and level you up, and you go up in tiers so you can fight harder and harder opponents. And yes, if you fall him again and you went 0-2 again, yeah, you lose and move on to your next opponent. Now, I'm not super in-depth in fighting games, but for the most part, I would say it's very Street Fighter-esque. You can string together combos, but they're not going to be incredibly long. And the longest one I've seen was about 5 hits. Now, that being said, there are plenty of things you can do with your given movesets. And with the game mainly focusing on execution, it's a lot more, not still downed necessarily. When you're fighting in this game, you can very easily see how you lost different fights, like what were you doing wrong, like I shouldn't have jumped that much. Maybe I should have been more on them instead of being as passive as I was. Maybe I should have did this special more and keep them on their toes. Also, you learn about matchups really quick in this game because of it. When I first started playing, I mainly started using Crow, because, he's cool. And I ended up fighting a lot of different Shells. And something I learned very fast is that if Chell is on the ground, you want to be at a weird medium distance. It probably applies to every character. But Chell will hit you on for uppercuts if you're too close, but you don't want to be too far away, otherwise she'll utilize a range attack, and well, you don't want that, because you don't really have an answer for that outside of jumping out of the way, and that will leave you open for more attacks when you try to approach her. Meanwhile, while fighting Dauntless, you can actually kind of rush him down if you do your skills correctly. Mainly by using your one special where you throw your chakram or whatever into the air, and you can then kind of control him and keep him from going ham on you, because Dauntless will go ham on you. Now, with all that being said, it's very fun because of it, at least for me, because I'm not into fighting games like that. I didn't grow up with fighters like a lot of people did, so down forward Hadoukens, I have a 70% chance of doing them, and that's if I've been playing the game recently. If it was raw, I don't know, 30%, very low. Now, if you know the internet, the game has gotten a lot of flack for not having command inputs to do special moves. And one particular comment that stood out to me was someone who said they never met anyone who had a problem with a down-forward Hadouken, and they thought that the game wouldn't succeed because of it. Well, there are 3 points I have to make about that. 1, there are plenty of people who cannot do these command inputs. I'm one of them. I have a lot of issues doing it, it just doesn't work out. It's kind of surprising whenever my friends have me over and we try to play a fighting game, and I have problems with down-forward Hadoukens, like with an only 50% chance rate of you doing them. Point number 2, it's not just down-forward Hadoukens. It's the fact that characters can have like 12 different moves and 3 different variants upset moves. It's the fact that you have to learn every single one of these and the command inputs to do them properly and memorize while doing this while playing the game. It's the fact that some games literally have a circle and a Z on top of it and you're just supposed to know what that command input is. That's the sort of stuff they're trying to weed out in this game. And lastly, I honestly think this is going to only be good for the genre in general. I mean, if we can have a game where people who can't do command inputs very well, and people who actually can play a game competitively and both have fun, I think that's a positive for the genre and gaming in general. I mean, think about it in the MOBA Dota style game sense. Dota 2 and League of Legends are both played by a lot of players, and one of these games is vastly more complicated than the other. And then there's other games like Heroes that don't even follow a lot of the rules that they go on. I'm not saying that every game should be entirely different. I am saying sometimes rules need to be broken to find new cool ideas. And this is definitely a case of one of them. When the game does come out, it's going to be free to play, and supposedly the only microtransaction is going to be costumes. Maybe they'll let you buy extra characters when they come up with them later on down the line. I don't know, I mean, it is still an alpha. But that being said, if it's going to be free to play, then it's only going to take your time. And frankly, if this is the foundation, it can be a very great online fighting game for the PC.